Bismillah, hello everyone, and welcome to our podcast on leadership and misconceptions. Leadership is often seen as or authority, but in truth, it's about character, adaptability, and empathy. Today, we'll explore how true leadership is tested in difficult times and how values, fear, kindness, and choices shape the leader within us. Our first guest is Simuad, who explored the importance of adaptability in leadership. So, Simuad, what's one habit or mindset that helps a leader stay adaptable in tough situations?
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Mr. Karam, for having me on this podcast. So, personally, if I had to choose one mindset that would help a leader, the best quality that a leader could have, is that it would be going into any plan or any list they need to accomplish, already knowing that challenges will come, and that the only way that they're going to move forward is if they adapt. And this is actually true because when you expect things to go wrong, you don't panic when they do. You focus on evolving the plan, not abandoning it. Because most people nowadays, and I used to be one of them, is when you have a very rigid and strict plan, when the smallest unexpected challenge comes your way, you say, "Oh, the plan is already messed up, so I better quit." And you quit mid-week or mid-plan, and you don't even finish it. So that's why adaptability is very important. And the quality I chose is to go into any plan knowing that you will face some challenges. And please don't get me wrong. You prepare, you plan carefully. But what I mean by this is that you gotta stay mentally flexible. Is that no matter what challenges comes your way, you already knew that you were going to face that challenge. So what I wanna conclude with is that leadership isn't about avoiding storms. It's about being ready to adjust and navigate when they hit.
Thank you, Muad. And that truly shows that flexibility is strength, not weakness. Next, we have Lalla Nada, who spoke about the role of fear in leadership. So, Nada, can you tell us how can a leader turn fear into a strength instead of a weakness?
A lot of people have a misunderstanding that fear is actually not a prowess, but it's something that is a negative aspect of us. But I think that fear is something so important that lets us reflect on our past actions. And a leader turns fear into strength, not by denying it, but by understanding it. When we understand fear, it becomes easier and easier to look at your values and to self-reflect yourself and to have a proper conversation with yourself. What did I do wrong? What should I correct? Because that is a true leader. A leader makes mistakes. It's okay. But what makes a leader different from ordinary people is that he changes. They change not because fear didn't let them do something, but because they got self-conscious and they thought. That's the difference. So when a leader feels fear, it actually shows the edge of their courage. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear being present. And as Kierkegaard has once said, anxiety is the dizziness of fear, of freedom. And that's powerful. It means that fear appears when we stand on our choices, on our responsibilities, and on what we value most. Mastering fear isn't about conquering it. It's about harmonizing with it, attaching with it, turning human fragility into moral power. And thank you.
Thank you very much for your intervention, Nada. And that's an inspiring point. Facing fear with courage often defines leaders' growth. Ziad, in the other hand, shared his thoughts on the discipline of humanity during crisis. So my question for Ziad is, what makes a leader truly humane during crisis when pressure is at its highest?
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Karam. Well, from my perspective, uh, I believe what truly makes a leader human in crisis is their commitment and their honesty to preserving people's dignity while solving the actual situation and problem. And in my opinion, it comes down to three main things practiced long before the emergency. That is character, emotional control, and responsibility. So, of course, as I mentioned, character is practice. If you habitually and constantly act with honesty and consistency in ordinary times, in everyday situations, those emotions and those instincts show up automatically under pressure. And regarding emotional control, humanity lives in the pause between feeling and action. So when you are in a situation where it's really escalating and really delicate, pause 10 seconds. Say the immediate next step. Own one thing you will fix, protect your people from unfair blame, and give credit where it is due. And pausing and reflecting on this, analyzing the situation is will truly help you solve it and manage all the emotions and the pressure that is flowing in the air. So human leadership in crisis is not a show of power. It is disciplined practice. Build character now, pause to respond, analyze the situation, and take the necessary responsibility as a leader to so your team stays effective and stays human and stays productive, and even when the situation is under pressure. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Carr.
You're welcome, Ziad. Leaders who stay human under pressure inspire trust that no rulebook can teach. Now, let's hear from Lala Shayma, who discussed different types of leaders. So, Shayma from France, from your research, which type of leadership do you think is the most effective today and why?
So, thank you, Mr. Karam, having me on your podcast today. So, it's a really great question. So, let me break it down for you. So, in my opinion, I don't think there is one most effective leadership style, and here's why I think that, because it depends on situation and also on your personality. So, if you are in startup who's facing a crisis, you are not choosing just one type of leadership. And also, I can say that the best leader or the perfection or perfect leadership doesn't exist and cannot exist, because it's about adaptability and authenticity, and also what people can see. And it's not just like the best one of the effective one on our time, but what I can say that now it depends on the situation and also on your personality. So that's all.
You did respond to the question. Thank you, Shayma. That shows how leadership can take many forms depending on people and context. Next, we have Shayma number two, who talked about how a true leader behaves with values and good manners, even without systems or obligations. So, Shayma, what truly guides a leader to act ethically and responsibly when there are no rules forcing them to do so?
Thank you, Mr. Karam. Your question touches very essential points because it makes us to think what really makes a person to act ethically and with values, even if there are not systems or rules. So personally, I think that are two essential elements. The first one is the human sense, that inner moral guide that we are all born with. Every person has empathy, goodness, respect in his own personality, but it is something that must to be developed and strengthened through life experience. And the second element is education, especially the values learned from an early age. And I think there are two essential elements, and the true leader or a good person um, acts not out of obligation, but because integrity has become a really part of who they are.
Thank you. That's powerful. Leadership built on inner values is the most genuine kind. Up next is Sitaha, who presented on what it takes to be a good leader. So, Sitaha, from your perspective, what's the most important quality that defines a good leader in today's world, and why?
So, firstly, thank you. And well, when people talk about leadership, they often think of someone giving orders or standing in front of a big crowd. But honestly, I think leadership today is something deeper than that. It's not just about being in charge, it's about making a difference in the way you treat people and inspire them. So, for me, a good leader is basically someone who understands people that success is never a one-person job. It's built on teamwork, trust, and communication and other stuff. Um, and yeah, a real leader is also known for listening and not just replying, but to understand as well. They pay attention to what others need, and they help them um, grow mentally and yeah, how they think. And right now, we can say that we live in a world that's changing every single day. We can see the development of our world we are living on, the new ideas and new challenges that we are facing every day, and sometimes even confusion about what's right or wrong. We can say that. That's why empathy has become such an important quality. A leader who shows empathy, for me, can connect with people, guide them through difficult moments, and remind them that their voice matters and they're always going to listen to them. And it's not only about being nice, empathy takes strength. It means taking the time to really see people, to understand the emotions as well, and to balance fairness with kindness. That's why, um, sorry, that's what do I want to say? Yeah, that's what builds the loyalty and respect, the empathy. So to conclude, if I had to say something that a good leader needs to have and choose the most important quality that defines a good leader in today's world, for me, I'd say it's empathy because when you lead with heart, everything else falls into place. And thank you.
Thank you, Taha. Strong leadership really starts with empathy and making a difference. And finally, we have Sionis, who shared a beautiful message about how acts of kindness influence others during chaos. So, Eunice, my question for you is why do you think small acts of kindness have such a strong impact on people, especially in times of crisis or confusion?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Taha. For me, I think small acts of kindness have a strong impact during a crisis like wars, epidemics, such as coronavirus, natural disasters, or others. This is because people are already scared, confused, and stressed. In moments like that, it helps people calm down, feel understood, and think more clearly and responsibly. We see this in the film with the gym, for example, and even in real life, like during the earthquake in Morocco. At first, everyone feels fear and shock, but when some people stay calm, help others, or show empathy, it spreads. One person influences others, and slowly the whole group becomes more united and stronger. Kindness changes the atmosphere. It turns fear into courage and pushes people to act in a better way and responsibility to help each other and to stay organized. It's like Martin Luther King Jr., an old US minister, said, "Darkness can't remove darkness, only light can." In our case, kindness is that light. It's small, but in tough moments, it makes all of the difference.
Wonderful answer. Kindness reminds us that humanity is the heart of leadership. Well, what a powerful set of ideas we've heard today. Adaptability, courage, humanity, empathy, and compassion. Each of these shows that leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about serving, inspiring, and doing what's right, even when no one's watching. Thank you all to my classmates for sharing their insights, and thank you to our listeners for joining us. I'm Karam Lubrazi, and this was our class podcast on leadership and misconceptions. Until next time, learn, live, and lead.